All right, let's talk about a fundamental piece of AWS, the Virtual Private Cloud, or VPC. We're going to break down how you can carve out your very own private, super secure section of the AWS cloud. So that leads to a big question, right? How can you possibly get that private, lockdown network feel, but still tap into all of the power and scale of the public cloud? Well, that's exactly what Amazon's VPC is all about. Let's see how it pulls it off. Okay, so here's what we're covering. We'll start with what a VPC actually is, then look at its building blocks. After that, we'll see how it talks to the internet, how you can get started, and wrap up with a look at the costs. All right, first section, your private cloud corner. Let's get right down to it. What is a virtual private cloud? So the textbook definition is a logically isolated virtual network that you define. Okay, but what does that really mean? The easiest way to think about it is that it's just like a traditional network you'd run in your own data center. You get all that familiar control, but without having to manage any of the physical hardware. Here's a great way to picture it. Think of the entire AWS cloud as this huge, open world. Your VPC, that's you buying your own private plot of land right in the middle of it. You get to put up a fence, build a gate, and you are completely in charge of who gets in, who gets out, and everything you build on your property. Okay, so you've got your fenced-off property. Now what? Time to look at the blueprint, right? Let's go inside your virtual network and see what makes it tick. Every VPC is built on 3 core pillars that make the whole thing work. You've got subnets, IP addressing, and routing. We're going to look at each one. Let's start with subnets. A subnet is basically a section or a partition inside your VPC. It's a block of IP addresses. And here's the really important part. Each subnet lives in a single availability zone. That just means a distinct physical data center. And that is the secret to building applications that can withstand failures. Let's go back to our property analogy. If the VPC is your whole plot of land, then subnets are like the individual rooms in your house, or maybe different fenced-off areas for, a garden or a pool. They just let you organize everything neatly. Okay, next up, IP addressing. This one's pretty straightforward. It's how everything inside your VPC, we're talking servers, databases, you name it, gets a unique address. It's how they find each other and talk to each other. And yeah, it works with both the classic IPv4 and the newer IPv6. So in our analogy, IP addresses are the literal street addresses for every building on your property. Without them, you just have a bunch of buildings with no way to find them. Total chaos. And the last core piece is the route table. This is your network's traffic cop. It's basically a list of rules, or routes, that tells every piece of data where to go. It looks at a packet and says, okay, you need to go to this other room, or nope, you're headed out to the internet. Yeah, a GPS is the perfect analogy. The route table is the GPS for all your data, giving it the exact turn-by-turn directions it needs to get where it's going quickly and without getting lost. Okay, so our private little world is all set up. We've got our fences, our rooms, our street addresses. But it's a bit isolated, isn't it? What happens when we need to connect to the outside world? That's what this next part is all about, opening the doors and windows. You've got 2 main options here. First, the internet gateway. Think of this as the main gate at the front of your property. It lets traffic come and go from the public internet. But then you have a VPC endpoint. This is totally different. It's like a secure underground tunnel that connects you directly to other AWS services without ever touching the public internet. Super important for security. And it doesn't even stop there. You can do some really powerful stuff, like you can connect 2 of your private properties together with VPC peering, you can set up a transit gateway to act like a central airport hub for tons of different networks, or you can build a secure tunnel, a VPN, all the way back to your on-premises data center. The flexibility is just incredible. Now, I know this might be sounding a little complicated, but the crazy part is, getting started is actually super easy. So let's talk about what your move-in day on AWS looks like. And this is the best part. This is the bit that blows a lot of people's minds when they're new to AWS. To get started, you don't have to do anything because you already have a VPC. No, really, every single AWS account in every single AWS region comes with a default VPC already set up for you. It's just there. It means you can sign up and immediately start launching things like virtual servers without touching a single network setting. It's good to go from the second you create your account. Of course, when you are ready to start customizing and building your own, you've got a whole toolbox to choose from. You can use the easy point-and-click web console, you can get your hands dirty with the command line for scripting, or if you're into automation, you can build and manage it all directly from your code using SDKs and APIs. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, money. What does all of this cost? Let's break down the pricing.
Okay, this is super important, so listen up. The VPC itself is free. Creating it, using it, zero cost. You don't pay for the virtual fence. Where you might see charges is for some of the extra things you put inside it, like certain types of gateways or a dedicated VPN connection. Probably the most common thing you'll see a charge for these days is a public IP4 address. There's a few different kinds, right? You've got the static ones you can reserve called elastic IPs, or the ones that just get assigned to a server when you launch it. But any address that's facing the public internet is now a chargeable item. That said, the AWS free tier does give you 750 hours for free each month, which is pretty generous. So there you have it. That's the Amazon VPC. It really is your own private, secure, and totally customizable slice of the cloud. It gives you this incredible foundation. It's like a blank canvas with all the networking and security tools you could ever need, just waiting for you. The only question is, what are you going to build?